Hey everybody, it's Pete. Welcome to Stock Trading Pro. Today's Stock Market Live. We're going to, despite the market going down, the stock market crash scaring the heck out of everybody right now, we're going to show you how to find a list of bullish stocks to buy. You might call them the best stocks to buy now because they're showing relative strength to the market heading down. We're also going to do something today that we promised on Wednesday. Today we're going to do the coffee mug giveaway. Top Trading Pros is the new division of our company. We're going to have Forex trading, options trading, and crypto trading. We're also going to break down the crypto market today. If you understand short selling, there are two stocks that I love to trade every single day. Been going sideways pretty much for the better part of the last month and a half. Crypto broke below 19,000. Bitcoin specifically broke below 19,000. And we're going to hop on over to two crypto related stocks that are potential short sales if they break down. There's a really big large cap tech stock we're going to take a look at today that is sideways for the better part of 2 weeks after it crashed about 2 weeks ago. As a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago today, we're going to analyze that one today to determine if that's a short sale setup today. We're going to break down the market. We're going to break down the sectors. We're going to help you find some of the best ideas. And I think most importantly, we're actually going to go over this list today, which was a bunch of questions that we have. We always have 3 coaching sessions per week. We're going to review the Thursday night coaching session and hopefully give you some ideas heading into the weekend, how you can improve your trading instantly. And I'm going to actually show you the questions that we require people to review before they actually get to the point where they're making money. That's the big thing. And we're going to talk about processes today. But we're going to dive first right into the how to find a list of stocks to buy. That's really the big thing we want to talk about. We do have some news. We have Tesla stock perilously hanging right on that support level that we called out on Wednesday and on Monday. Tesla earnings were not good. Revenue was down, not good. Elon Musk has some other things going on with Twitter at the same time as well. I want to tell you right now, it's kind of hanging right on that level. And if it breaks the 206 level where it's sitting right now, 183 is the next level below that. So if you happen to be a buyer of Tesla stock right now and you're a Tesla maniac, you got to be aware of that level and make a decision. Are you a trader or are you an investor? Two completely different ways to manage the trade in Tesla stock right now and the Tesla price action. So stick around. Be back in just 2 seconds. All right, so thank you so much for joining me here today, everybody. Obviously, today is the coffee mug giveaway. I'm pretty excited about that. We're going to ask you to type something into the chat in just a minute. But what I want to do first is I want to talk about a list of stocks that are buyable opportunities right now. It's just a question of timing into those ideas. But more importantly, I want to show you how to find those ideas using a software that's free. You can pay for it if you want, but it's very, very easy to set up. And I want to take this over to one of the top questions that we had on the call the other day, actually yesterday. Let me zoom this in a little bit. And it's this one right here requires proper software setup, and having a process is the start. Execution is what wins. So essentially what those two trading lessons mean is that first you need to have an edge, right? An edge means probability. Probability means it's going to move in that direction more often than not. That's really where you get trading confidence from. Easily one of the biggest mistakes that people make with trading and trying to find their trading confidence is they believe that they need to have confidence that that next trade is going to make money, and nothing could be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, that's why you don't have confidence, because you think every trade is supposed to work. Where we're supposed to have confidence is when we build an edge, have a probability. Our confidence is not in a trade by trade basis. It's in a larger sample size of those trades. So what we should have confidence in is a bunch of trades, not the one trade. When you get that, it really changes everything. So what we're going to do first is we're going to work our way over into FinViz software. I just want to hit the ground running today with some really good ideas. You can see what the market did yesterday, rocketed out of the gate and just kind of pulled back, right? So if you happen to be trading yesterday, maybe had a little bit of confidence, yeah, here we go, we're finally going to rocket higher and get some nice price action. But you can see what ended up happening. The rest of the day was pretty much just a choppy mess. A couple of stocks in the tech group. We're going to look at Oracle, IBM, and Salesforce.com. CRM actually bounced pretty good yesterday and held the bid. That's the big thing. We'll take a look at IBM very quickly. And you can see that IBM actually had a nice bullish gap after earnings and broke this downtrend. So that's going to be one of the stocks that we're going to take a look at now. But remember, what I want to walk you through now is the process. The process is more important than each trade, because each trade, each good idea comes from the process first. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to determine, why are we accepting risk? That's the big thing. We all know we want to make money, but professional traders, good traders, traders at elite levels who are predictably profitable, it starts with, why am I choosing to accept risk? And that means you need some sort of process that tells you this list of stocks has a good chance of continuing to move in that direction. And right now we're going to break down a list of stocks on the buying side of the market, the bullish side of the market. Despite the fact that the stock market is crashing right now and trading lower, there are some bullish ideas if you understand how to dig them out. Now, I want to be clear about this. Having a list of stocks to buy and just going in and buying them, it's not the same thing. You still need to identify profit potential. That's a big part of what we're looking at right now, because we have the market going down, but there's some stocks that are bouncing. So what is the right profit potential? What is the right way to manage those winning trades in a bearish market? And you know that what we do, we specialize in, is called stacking the order flow. So we are stacking the order flow. We're looking to determine, is the idea I'm looking at right now in sync with the market? Or if it's trading against the market, what does that mean? Should I book a quick profit, or should I be looking to add to that position? That's a big question that a lot of people have. We actually had that asked 2 days ago in our Discord community, where a trade rallied and it was still pretty close to the next level where sellers had resistance. And that's not the right spot to add to a trade. You want to wait for it to get through that level so you have more room to go. So here's the thing you want to write down, and this is kind of a really good trading lesson. Profit potential from the moment you buy determines whether or not you should add to that position. Because again, we'll keep saying it over and over again, optimal entry, if this is the optimal, what the stock normally does, and you're about to buy it up here, you have to be very diligent with determining, should you even add to that position in the first place? So now that's the process. Now let's actually physically go through the process to come up with some ideas to be looking at. So we're going to use finviz.com. Actually, probably can't see that right now. Let me move that out of the way for a second, just so everybody can see that. You can see finviz.com up here. That's the platform that we're talking about right now. And we're going to head on over to the screener. The screener is actually, you can see that there's 8,500 stocks we could possibly be looking at right now. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit just so you can see everything. So remember what we're trying to do here, and this is the process that everybody needs to go through when you're building out your ideas. Not, is the stock active right now? The question we want to answer is, why should I accept risk? How do I build an argument that if I choose to take risk on a stock that I buy, if I put my hard-earned money in harm's way, why should I do that? That's the question that we want to ask all the time before we hit that buy button, before we look at a list of the best stocks to buy now. We need to have that question answered. Now, the way to do that, the way that we do that, is with order flow stacking. That's what makes what we do differently, and understanding the tape. So order flow stacking is stacking the probability, and reading the tape is it still valid? Now, that second part kind of confuses people, because they're like, well, if it's obvious, it's got to still be valid. That's not always the case, because in the moment that you're willing to buy it, is it still valid for what you're seeing over there? And I'm going to explain that to you in just a second. So let's work our way over into building an argument for the idea of accepting risk. So we're going to head on over into some of the criteria, and we're going to stick with the bottom part of the criteria here. We're not going to get into the financials and whatnot. We're just going to talk about technical reasons based on price action, performance. Now, here's a part of the criteria. Now, it's one of the things that I've developed over the last 23 years now. I like to trade market leaders because they're leaders for a reason. They have good cash flow and they're good companies. And I like to trade stocks that have liquidity. And I like to trade stocks that have volatility. So the two V's that we're going to talk about right now are volume and volatility as the main criteria. And then we're going to shift over into stocks that are exhibiting relative strength right now compared to the market that is weak. So we're going to look for strong stocks in a weak market. So the first criteria that we're going to put in there is volume average volume, and average true range, which will give us an idea. Okay. So the very first thing we're going to take a look at, the average volume that I look for is over 2 million shares per day. And you can see that just brought it down to 1,000 stocks. Now, why 2 million shares per day? Very, very important, right? 2 million shares per day is I want to find stocks that have institutional attention, smart money attention, big, deep pockets that are paying attention to that stock on a daily basis. That's where average volume comes from. So for me, my criteria is over the last 30 days, an average of 2 million shares traded per day. So you want to write this down. Institutional attention. If institutions are watching the stock on a regular basis, probably should be in my list to pay attention as well, because they're the reasons that stocks go up and down. That's a big part of trading. Second part of what we're looking at is average true range. Average true range is a measure of volatility. And what I like to have in there is over $1.50. So now you can see we brought 8,000 stocks down to just 300. So now we're matching smart money institutional attention based on 2 million shares per day average. And now we're going to combine that with average true range. Average true range is how much the stock normally moves from the low to the high. And that's a measure of profit potential. So what I use is a minimum of $1.50. So that means on average, the stock will move a minimum of $1.50 from the low to the high. So that gives us some profit potential, that stock has some volatility. So those are the minimum two criteria. Remember, we're looking for the best stocks to buy now. So we need to stack on top of that minimum criteria. But what's kind of interesting here is we brought 8,000 stocks down to only 300 that match the criteria. Which, by the way, I want to bring you over to a question from the coaching call yesterday. Somebody was saying that they're missing too many good ideas. And I want to show you what the answer was to that question yesterday. So if we bring this down and right here, missing moves, right? Two things, missing moves, the market's moving too fast. What you need to do is you need to focus more. So we actually just brought 8,000 stocks down to 300, and you're going to say, we're going to bring that down even more. But I think a big part of what also needs to be done is making sure that your software is set up properly. Is your software set up to feed you ideas in the moment that you're looking for new ideas? Your charts have to be set up a certain way. Your watch list of stocks has to be set up in a certain way. If it's set up properly, then after the market opens, and again, it doesn't matter if you're day trading stocks or swing trading stocks, if your software is set up properly, that slows the market down dramatically because it's going to feed you the best ideas that match your criteria right now. So if we can take this even further and take a look at the sectors based on what we're looking at. So 300 stocks. Now we want to amp that up a little bit more. We want to look at stocks that are above the 50 period moving average. You can see that brought it all the way down to 62 stocks. Now, why the 50 period moving average? Well, if you know your stock market history, a lot of people talk about something called Dow theory. Dow theory means that there's always three trends in place at any one time. The longer term 200 period moving average, that's the longer term bullish or bearish market. Pretty much everybody looks at that one. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then you zoom in a little bit more to what's known as the intermediate term trend. And that's probably the trend that most swing traders look for, whether you're holding a stock for 3 days or 3 months. That shorter time frame, that intermediate time frame, is the 50 period moving average. So what we're looking at right now are the best stocks to buy now based on the intermediate swing trade trend. The other part of Dow theory is normally what's known as the minor fluctuations in the market, which is normally used for either the 10 or the 20 period simple moving average on the daily charts. That's if you want to be a little bit more active. It's the most recent price action. We get a lot of questions about why the 20 period moving average. And if you know, again, if you know your stock market history, going back into before all the computerization and everything that we have today, it was basically an average of 20 to 21 trading days per month. So traders on the floor of the exchanges would say, okay, we're looking at the last 21 days. What's the average price? And are we above that? That's why 20 period moving average in the short term is very important. But in this case, we just filtered it down. So we want buying ideas above the 50 period moving average. But that's not good enough. We want to drill down even further. Now we're going to look at the last 21 days, as we just discussed, and the last 5 days. So what we're talking about, intermediate order flow, intermediate bullish trend using the 50-period moving average. Then we're going to take a look at the last 21 days. Okay, the last 4 weeks of price action, buying pressure despite the market going down. And more importantly, the last 5 days despite the market going down. So now we're going to drill down a little bit deeper and come up with that list. So what we're going to look at now from a performance perspective is we're going to look at the month. We're going to go to the month, which is the last 21 days. You can see that brought it down a little bit further. And now we're going to go out to the week and look for the week to be up. And that brought up 37 stocks. Now, what's kind of fun about this is that's a great list, right? That's pretty interesting. And I want to be clear about this. This is only the first part of the game plan process. Again, having your software set up is a part of it. Having your system in place is a part of it. Doing the scans is not where we're done. Doing the scans is simply, okay, those ideas meet the criteria. Now we have to go see if they are a trading opportunity based on how close or far away from the optimal entry they are. So you have two things to consider now. We've narrowed the list down to stocks that meet the criteria, relative strength to the market. So these are buying opportunities in a stock market crash. Now we need to determine two things. Is there profit potential, and how close are we to the optimal entry? That's the next part of the trade. So again, raise your hand if you've ever put on a trade and as soon as you bought it, went one day in your favor and then turned around. It just means that your timing needs to be a little bit better, okay? So now we're going to work this list a little bit more. So that brought 8,000 stocks down to 37. Now there's a couple of different ways that we can sort this. We can go by performance over the last month. And that's one way to break it down. And we'll take a look at that in a second, depending on your time frame, which, by the way, we got a lot of good questions about order flow. And order flow matters with your trade objective. Now, what I mean by that is we have something that's called harmony. The way that we teach things in the bootcamp is you need to recognize when a stock has harmony. We have day trading harmony and we have swing trading harmony. So depending on your trading business and how you plan to manage your trades, are you day trading? Are you swing trading? Position trading? Which objective you have, which is really just a fancy way of saying how long do you plan to hold the trade, will dictate which order flow matters to you. So how long does buying pressure have to be valid? How long does selling pressure have to be obvious for you to make a decision based on how long you plan to hold the trade? So if we're taking a look at that, this is going to influence what you're looking for. So we already know that these 37 stocks meet that criteria. So if you take a little bit longer term frame perspective and you're a position trader, you'd be looking at this list. Now, this is really what's kind of fun about this is you can see the list is going to change. You want to focus over here based on the time frame that you watch your trades. So maybe you own a business, maybe you have a full-time job, maybe you're just looking for ideas to buy for of stocks to buy for your 401k. You're going to be out on the little bit longer time frame. Now, let's say that you're looking to be a little bit more active. You want to hold stocks for maybe 3 to 5 days. Then you're mostly concerned with ideas that are strong recently. So let's actually, and think about this. If you're looking at longer term, stocks can fluctuate a little bit, right? You're fine with that because it's a little bit bigger picture. But if you're looking to get in, let's say Wednesday and get out next Monday, that's a little bit shorter time frame. So you want to know a little bit closer time frame. So this is where it gets kind of fun. And you're actually manipulating the data for the way you want to run your trading business, which is kind of fun because we already this is the big thing here. We've already qualified this big list of stocks as these are the stocks we want to watch because they're showing relative strength. Now we're saying, based on how you want to run your trading business, this is the order flow to start with. So we just talked about watching on the monthly chart. Now we're going to break this down and you'll see this list over here change. And you know what? Actually, I only want stocks in this. So this list is probably going to narrow down a little bit more. We just took out 10 ETFs. Okay. So now we're going to go to the week. So you can see now that the list completely changed and Netflix and RBLX and RCL and JPM and IBM just completely changed the list, which is really kind of cool, right? Now, if you happen to be a little bit more into sector rotation, if you're a little bit more into, I just want to find within that list of stocks that are the best stocks to buy now, how do I determine which sectors are the big list? Now, you might be like, well, what does that mean? Right? So I'm going to show you what that means. So essentially, everything that we do starts out here with the stock market power pyramid. So the first thing we want to do is determine, is the market in a buying or selling tone. Right now we're in selling, but we're looking for stocks to buy. So we're moving one layer up the chain here, right? So what that means is now we need to go into the list of stocks to buy, and we're going to sort by sector and we're going to sort by group. So if you notice, when we're working our way up the list, we're going to sectors, groups, and stocks. So we actually just kind of started out with the stocks first. Now we're going to take a look and see which sectors might have buying pressure and which groups specifically we could dive a little bit deeper into. Now, you might be saying, well, why is that important? Well, here's how to level up your conviction level when you're trading stocks. When we talk about order flow and money going into or out of those stocks, that means the institutions have attention on those stocks and they're moving it. If you want to make more on your winning trades, and this is a really ninja kind of way of looking at the stock market, if you determine that there's a pocket of opportunity where a lot of money is flowing into or out of a group of stocks at the same time, that means institutions have attention on that whole group, and so should you. And what we're about to talk about is how to do that right now. So we already broke down the list of stocks. Now we're going to take it a little bit deeper. So when we go into that list, there's another column here, which is sector. So we're going to break this down now. There's a couple of technology stocks. And what we're looking for right now is where is the largest group of stocks that have buying pressure that meet this criteria. We have a couple in healthcare. We'll take a look at those in a second. Cardinal Health is resting right at a breakout. We've been watching that one for a while. But you can see probably 8 here in energy and a couple of more in energy. So that's the first part of it, right? Then we're going to work our way up the power pyramid again. So what we just looked at is the sectors. Now we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the groups. And I'm going to tell you how to use this in just 1 second. So now we're going to go over to the industry. So we're going to break this down a little bit more. And we're going to look again. Energy is dominant here. There's a couple of drug manufacturers, Merck and ABBV. Very important. So now the key here is, how do you use this information, right? So we broke it down by sector. You're going to take the list of stocks that meet that criteria, and it looked like there was about 10 in the energy sector, and put them into a separate watch list. Now, when the market opens, whether you're day trading stocks or swing trading stocks, if all of those stocks at the same time are green, that means institutions have attention on that stock and that group of stocks. So money is flowing in. Research was put into that group, and they are now allocating. Something that we talked about last night, that's really, really important. And I want to shift your way you think of things right now. When you're looking at charts, and let's just say we're looking at IBM for the moment, right? When we're looking at IBM stock, what I want you to start to do is start to realize it's kind of cool that we're looking at charts and candlesticks and moving averages and all that kind of thing. But we have to really think about it. You want to really elevate what you're doing right now is you have to think to yourself, these charts were created by real money being spent. People were buying or selling in that moment. So that's the reason why we keep using the language of order flow. What I need you to do is understand order flow is real money being spent. So if we go back to what I just said about having those groups of stocks in one separate watch list by themselves, it's our job now to say, do they look like a Christmas tree where they're red and green all over the place? Or are they all green or all red at the same time? But let's say they're all green. If they're all green at the same time, you need to sit up in your seat, get on your keyboard and say, let me look for an entry right now because money's flowing into that group. I did the research. I did the scans. I put them into my watch list. Now they're doing what I want them to do. All of them are green. Now is an opportunity for me to make money. That's very important. You might want to watch that part of the video one more time. Before we move over to the next thing, I want to get everybody, we're going to do the giveaway for the Top Trading Pros coffee mug. So all I need you to do in the chat, type the word coffee mug, one word, coffee mug, into the chat. And I'll actually show you what we're going to do just to make it super clear for everybody. Type in the word coffee mug as one word. Everybody type that into the chat, coffee mug, and we'll get started on the giveaway. So here's what I want to do. I want to bring this home now in a little bit more clarity. So we have all of this list of stocks, right? So now the next thing to do is we want to jump into the list of stocks, and we're going to start now taking a look at the charts based on how they traded over the last week, over the last 5 days. So we're going to hop on over into charts, and now we're going to take a look. So Netflix actually breaking out. That has some profit potential. RBLX is actually an interesting one. It actually had a bullish gap over the last 5 days and actually is holding the gap. As long as RBLX is over 41, I'm going to look for it to make a run up to 52. So let's be super clear about that. All right, let's see how many people we got in there. We'll get a bunch more people in there. Keep typing in coffee mug, and we'll get everybody in there into the raffle, into the giveaway. So Netflix, we're looking for follow through. We talked about that on Wednesday. RBLX, ISRG was a big bullish gap. UAL, RCL. Let's go over those stocks right now and whether or not they have buying potential. So let's talk about UAL. UAL needs to get above 41. So write down that price, UAL above 41. If UAL gets above 41, then we're looking up at that 48 to 49 level. RCL actually has pretty nice pushes here. Down a little bit this morning, but you can see we're constantly making new higher lows. The level that we have to crack here in RCL is we got a two-step trade here where the first step is coming out of this bullish pause, and then we got to get above here looking for some more room to go. Now, what's kind of fun about this, IBM is actually beyond the optimal entry, so it's a short-term trade there. FTNT is still in a range, nothing to do there. Airbnb was actually called out yesterday in our meeting, and this one actually has to get through 126, but we're looking at the first piece of a trade here and profit potential above there. So you can see it actually has some. Let's actually just compare this really quick. Look at the way Airbnb has moved over the last 2 weeks and compare that to the market where the market's going down. So what we're setting up right now are relative strength plays. That's the big thing. I want everybody to have a chance to get in the giveaway. Type coffee mug into the chat, and we're going to do the raffle and the giveaway in just 1 second. So let's keep going over the ideas of potential. So first of all, I want to give you the whole list. So let's actually put this over here, and we're going to put it on a map. And what I want you to do is take a look at this map over the last 5 days, which is the last week. And we're going to zoom this in for you right there. So make sure you take a snapshot of that. This is the list of stocks that we just did. So make sure you take a screenshot of that, and you're going to have a chance to keep an eye on those stocks this week as well. So let's continue to go through the list. We're going to continue to take a look at the charts. So we also talked about Airbnb showing some relative strength. SLB actually has earnings. Let's see how it's trading after earnings. So it's actually up a little bit. So you can see SLB needs to get over 46, and it looks like it's going to get through there this morning. Let's see. We got one more page, I believe, here of charts. So we're setting up. So EOG, that's a pretty solid breakout there. So what's the big thing I want to get across to everybody right now? Probably the single biggest thing that I hope everybody is learning from me in this moment. And keep typing coffee mug, one word, coffee mug, into the chat. What's the big thing I want to really get across to everybody right now, based on the research that we just did in real time together, is that if you go that little bit extra mile and don't pay attention to the headlines, if you have a process every single day, you should be going on a treasure hunt looking for ideas. Because if you go that extra mile with having that process, have the system, do the scans, and then look for trades, you'll be the person that'll always be saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I always have ideas, because you're putting in that extra work. And by the way, you're here with me early in the morning. For those of you who might be watching it on a video, but a lot of people here early in the morning watching this with me, you're here because you care very deeply about your success. And what I gave you today is a process for finding bullish ideas no matter what the stock market's doing. And I hope you watch this video more than once, because we covered a lot of good stuff in here, finding those ideas. All right, so I'm going to do two things. I'm going to put that list back up on the screen. I want you to take a screenshot of it. Then we're going to go over and we're going to do the giveaway. So everybody, make sure you type coffee mug in there. But I want to first give everybody the list of stocks. So I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to go back over to the map, and we're going to go back over to the last 5 days. And there's the list right there. Make sure you take a screenshot of that so you have the list. Everybody should be able to take that list. Okay, so we're going to hop on over now. Let's hope this software works properly. So we're going to start collecting comments. Looks like we have 37 right now, 37 people. Let's just get 3 more people in there. If 3 more people can type in the word coffee mug, we get this number up to 40, and then we're going to hit that button, and we're going to do the draw. So while we're waiting one more second, I also want to give you a chance to screenshot the questions from our coaching session last night so that it inspires you, hopefully, to start asking yourself some better questions. What I'm going to start with at the bottom of the list is the list of questions we make people consider so that you get instant results. And this is really important. So we're going to hop on over here. We need one more person. And this is the list. So I'm actually going to pull this back. First thing you want to do right here is pull back these questions right here. What's holding you back? What part of trading would absolutely change everything for you? That's the big thing. Okay. If you want to take a screenshot of this, these are the questions. You might have to go through that again one more time. All right. So here we go. We're up to 41. All right. Everybody ready? I'm excited. This is our new company, by the way. We have a lot more coming, so I'm very excited about that. All right. So let's hit the draw and let's give everybody a chance to get that coffee mug. Let's see how we're going in here. Getting close. John Oakes. All right. Awesome. 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 All right. So look, that was kind of fun and everybody wanted to do. We'll do that again on Monday next week. So John Oakes will reach out to you. We have your contact information, I believe. Everybody, I want to thank you so much for being here with me. Really, really appreciate it. John Oakes, the big winner today. That was kind of cool. That was fun. All right. So big thing with today, everybody. Have a process like I just walked you through. Have minimum criteria. And I promise you, you're going to be able to find some stuff to keep an eye on and find some of the best stocks to buy now that meet your criteria. Probably one of the biggest things I want to get across, though, is the objective of your trade. We talk about stacking the order flow. We talk about tape reading. The big part of tape reading and stacking the order flow is which order flow are you watching? Which order flow matters depends on how long you plan to hold the idea, okay? The one big stock that we keep talking about today is Meta. I just want to talk about these two things here. Meta, resting on that level right there. Now, why am I pointing out Meta and why am I bringing this up? Well, it's because Snap actually had bad earnings and the stock is down 28%. So remember how we just talked before, and this is actually kind of fun to finish this up on right now. Remember how we just talked about before the stock market power pyramid, going into the sectors, going into the groups? Well, what I'm going to do right now is give you a list of stocks that you can watch today on the downside of the market if you understand buying puts or short selling, because Snap is going to bring down the communication services group of stocks today because earnings were not good and we could already see some of those stocks are down. So let's actually take a look at those ideas right now using the same process, heading on over here. And we're going to use the same criteria, but we're going to take out week up. We're going to take out week down. We're going to go back over here to overview, and we're going to go over here into sector, and we're going to go to communication services. So, and let's actually get that off of there. So this list of stocks, this group of stocks of 15, and I'm going to give you a chance. Let's actually give you a chance to snapshot that as well. And let me zoom that out for you. Right. Actually, it's probably easier to see with the list right there, this list. Let me zoom that in for you. This list of stocks right now are going to be in play today. Let me actually get off the screen so you can actually see that a little bit better. This list of stocks right now, let me zoom that in even more so it's easier to see. This list of stocks is going to be in play today on the downside of the market simply because Snap's earnings were absolutely horrible. So make sure you have a list of these stocks in the communication services sector to potentially look at as a short sale. So we started today talking about how to find the list of the best stocks to buy now. Based on Snap earnings, that sector, communication services, are going to have heavy selling pressure today. At least that's the way it looks before the stock market opens. Take that list of stocks and put those into a watch list. And if they're all red together today, maybe if you understand short selling or buying puts, you could take a look at that list of stocks today as well. Thanks so much for joining me here today, everybody. If we did a good job, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. It would also let me know that this is the kind of stuff that you like. All right. Have a great day, everybody. I will speak to you soon.